Distinguished members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, I am pleased to share the highlight of the recently held Strategic Communications webinar themed Balancing the Equation Between Consumer Protection and Manufacturers' Rights. The Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi-Kadri, MNI, hinted participants that the goal of the conversation was to help members navigate the complexities of a fast-paced business environment and explore the imperative of achieving balance and fostering meaningful dialogue among stakeholders in the industry. It said the manufacturing sector is subject to the regulation of both federal and sub-regional agencies of government. Hence, it behoves on all to ensure that allegations of untold manufacturing practices or consumer complaints are done within the confines of the law. For him, MAN is set to strike a balance and nudge the relevant government agencies to intervene by protecting manufacturers alongside consumers. Dwelling on the theme of the conversation, distinguished guest speaker, CEO of Consumetrics, Mr. Muyiwa Ayojimi, made the following submissions. The average consumer wants to get value for money, hence manufacturers must prioritize that. Every organization needs to have a regulatory dashboard for consumer protection. Organizations must accept the reality that consumers have the following rights: rights to be informed, right to be heard, right to choose, right to safety, right to healthy environment, right to seek redress, right to consumer education, right to satisfaction of basic needs. Organizations must imbibe a quick response culture to customer complaints. Organizations must be seen to show consumer support. Organizations must occasionally review their consumer engagement strategy. Consumer protection should be a cost center in organizations. Organizations must endeavor to build and sustain consumer trust. Organizations must improve compliance and accountability. Brands can host Product Appreciation Day where consumers are given opportunity to tour the factory to better appreciate the product and become ambassadors. Every organization should have a consumer engagement desk or personnel intentionally assigned to handle customer feedback before it escalates beyond proportion. As brands invest in marketing and sales, it is also important to focus on consumer engagement in a bid to foster a sustainable business. Consumer dashboard should be a must-have for every organization. Ensure proper closure of every customer complaint to build trust. Being consumer-centric sets a brand apart from competitors. On initiatives that MAN can drive, the speaker recommended the following: MAN to advocate inclusion of manufacturers' rights into regulatory framework. MAN to lead preventive policy and regulatory reforms. Establish a manufacturers' rights day to promote consumer education and amplify sustainable consumption efforts. Build public trust by acting as a bridge between manufacturers and consumers, demonstrating the industry's commitment to fair practices, safety, and innovation, as well as highlight success stories of manufacturers excelling in consumer protection and ethical practices. Facilitate resolution of consumer disputes. In response, the Director General appreciated the speaker on the insightful engagement and said that the association will henceforth double up effort on coordinating members and their consumer interaction by ensuring manufacturers manage and protect their brands. Going forward, it said MAN will expand the mandate of the Members' Satisfaction and Consumer Engagement Unit to follow up on ensuring compliance. Follow up with the FCCPC to deepen Manufacturers Protection Unit, as well as the Memorandum of Understanding to ensure the protection of manufacturers. Ensure the management of regulatory constraint concerns. Ensure that sectoral and regulatory division will have a sectoral executive dedicated to the management of regulatory issues. For a successful engagement, the sponsor of the webinar edition, CEO Secure ID, Mrs. Kofo Akikugbe, said their organization will be better off with recommendations shared by the speaker while urging all the members to follow suit. Dr. Segun Alabi, Assistant Director, Corporate Services Division, said plans are on the way to host the next edition themed Stakeholders Mapping and Consumer Protection, a glance at manufacturers' regulatory dashboard. He equally said the association will keep to a side of the bargain from the outcome of the conversation for an improved membership experience. This webinar highlight is powered by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and sponsored by Secure ID Limited. I remain your regular host, Omotayo Okeomi. Thank you for listening. Happy to bring you more useful updates in the future.